Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to another episode of Hades 1. This is our mirror setup for the day. I am going to be going for an Ares special build on the aspect of Chiron on the bow. I figured we've done that with Rama, and I wanted to see how it works on Chiron since that Rama run ended up being pretty crazy. So we're going to take max level jury summons. I'm not going to do extreme measures 4. I've decided I'm going to practice more with forced overtime than extreme measures 4, as my current setup for high heat runs has gotten rid of extreme measures 4. It's just such a gatekeeper, and honestly I'm having more of a trouble with the heroes than with Hades himself. So that's going to be the plan for today. We're going to take a 22 heat run. Wish me luck.
Ready.
So in the meantime, what's new on in the world of Jeff? Well, Hades 2 just had a major update for its early access.
Life and death are inextricable, and war is often what connects the two. Don't you agree?
I'm not going to go into any spoilers here. Actually, I'm trying to avoid, but we got the lowest tier special. Maybe I can reroll and see if we get anything better.
Got anything else?
Okay, higher tier special, we'll take that. I'm hunting for Dire Misfortune. Kind of, if you haven't seen the previous build, the way it worked was we got Dire Misfortune so that every time we apply a Doomstack with our special, it does extra damage. And so since Chiron hits 8 times, we should be able to apply Doom extremely quickly. That's the plan, at least. We'll see how it actually plays out. Definitely going to want a Hermes special enhancing boon as well if possible. And I would say of all the aspect weapons, Chiron is one of the easiest weapons to do 32 heat as a whole, but also just like deal with forced overtime because you can kite out enemies so exceptionally well. And you have decent damage, and as long as you're not depending on tight deadline too much, for the earlier heats, it's fairly forgiving to beat higher heat runs with. It's once you start getting levels of tight deadline where you have to play way more aggressively, and Chiron doesn't really have the damage output, in my opinion, to do that. At least not without some very lucky early boon pulls. Like I could see a Zeus build with double strike working on it fairly well, I imagine. Speaking of him, do I want Zeus for this build? I definitely want Aphrodite because she'll make we can get Curse of Longing with her, and Status Privilege with the attack would be pretty nice, but I don't really have any goals for my other gods. Artemis for crits, I guess, would be the big one. I think I'm going to avoid Zeus because I don't really have any other than the special, there aren't really any boons I want him on. Anyway, so like I was going to say though, Hades 2, I'm going to avoid spoilers as much as possible for my own sake as well, because I will play it eventually, and I want to go in. I did the first, the earliest early access on this channel. There are about 29 episodes of that if anyone's interested in that. But for me, I think largely going into Hades 2 blind is my goal, because my experience with Hades 1 was finished product, first time experience, and I want to do that again. I have had one spoiler for the game, but I won't bring it up here. Oh, hey, look, it's Aphrodite. Perfect. So we'll go for her attack here. One thing I'll also bring up fairly early into the video is the fact that a combination of Windows Update and nonsense with my microphone again. Please let me know if how the audio quality is on this one. Unfortunately, Windows Update happened and my computer decided I'm not using this microphone anymore. I've gotten it to work as far as a test video can detect, but now my microphone is doing the same thing that Kiwi's microphone does, where it doesn't care about gain settings. So I am constantly clipping the mic unless I have like my gain is set to 0, mind you, and this is how loud I am. So I'm trying to see if I can make this work. If the audio quality is terrible in this video, I'll just have to invest in another microphone. I'm so sick of this thing.
Love is strong enough to suffer any hardship, dearest.
All I'm going to say is I do not recommend a Blue Yeti microphone for recording. Yeah, the audio quality is nice, but the hardware and software issues that came with this microphone for both myself and Kiwi is just not worth it. It's you're overpaying for something you could get for cheaper and probably work better. I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken, but that seems to be a lot of the consensus for those who have used a Yeti. If you have different experiences, let me know. Like I don't know what to do, because it constantly resets. If you move the USB-C cable at all, it just forgets what microphone I'm using, and then my settings get reset as well. Like some of it's probably software issue, but some of it's actually definitely hardware. Like Kiwi's connector, Kiwi's USB-C connector, if you jiggle it even like the slightest bit, her gain just gets hard reset. Okay, so a high tier Ares is probably more important than a high tier Artemis here. I do want to go for pressure points at some point. We'll force her in Asphodel though. Whereas here I might be able to roll the Dire Misfortune that kind of is the crutch of this build, or the crux of this build, I suppose. Should remember to toss out a Bloodstone every now and again so I get the enhanced damage with Boiling Blood.
You're free, tortured souls.
Wow, Curse of Longing already. I mean, I'm not going to complain about getting that. That's a pretty decent damage up for us. Let's see. Next up, hammer, sure. So we're looking for Relentless Volley or Concentrated Volley. Basically, the boons that make our special do more damage. Relentless Volley is definitely the one we care about more because it gives us more hits on the special. 4 more hits on the special means 4 more applications of Dire Misfortune. Now, the downside to Dire Misfortune is it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage on its own, but it adds up very quickly, and I think if we get a decently juicy Hermes special boon, or like special speed enhancing boon, we should be able to apply Dire Misfortune extremely rapidly. Oh, gosh, I'm happy about this. We got the Relentless Volley. Piercing Volley, not terrible, but it actually, I think it kind of changes how the special arcs, and it makes it a little bit harder to aim, oddly enough, for a ability that homes in on enemies. It seems less reliable after you get that boon.
It's good of you to visit me like this.
I'm not sure if that's the case. I had one run where I was really on really good pace, and it just felt like something changed afterwards.
Fine.
It may have just been that we're in Styx, and Styx is terrible for Chiron. Because Chiron cannot hit enemies. Oh, actually, let me double check something real quick. Okay, we're good. I've been messing around with volume settings, and I wasn't sure if I remembered to reset them. As mentioned in a not too long ago video,
You're not going anywhere.
I am working on a little Hades project, kind of music video type thing, where I'm using sound effects from the game
I'm trapped.
to play over a song. But I've been collecting sound effects, which means I need to turn the music and voices off, and
Back to dust.
I mean, everything sounds appropriate. I just wanted to make sure that I was not like going super far into a video with audio being even worse than it already is, thanks to things that were outside of my control. At least I can control the things that I can remember to fix. All right. So anyway, our goal for this build is just, if we can, to see the biggest, juiciest Doom damage procs possible. Don't know how Dire Misfortune affects Curse of Longing, though, or interacts with Curse of Longing, because if Curse of Longing kind of overrides the stacking of Dire Misfortune, that will be a little bit unfortunate. Realistically speaking, I should probably just spread my special like this, because it's one-shotting enemies.
I trust they
Calling for Chiron.
inconvenienced you at least.
We have got a lot of money now, yeah, so if we can get an Artemis crit with our Dire Misfortune, that'll be pretty funny. Anyway, so I guess that's one thing definitely worth talking is the excitement over Hades 2 getting more content. Granted, I'm very much avoiding, the only spoiler I've had is a new god being added to the game, which I think that's all I'm going to say. Like I said, I want to avoid talking about it or thinking about it too much, because I want my after my like 29 episode blind playthrough of the earliest form of early access, I want the rest to go in blind as much as possible. So what else can I talk about? Kiwi and I just watched Megamind for the first time. I have not seen a lot of DreamWorks productions, honestly. So Megamind was a nice little treat. It was very amusing. I would say it was very funny. It wasn't my favorite movie, but I can understand why a lot of people love it. There are some interesting messages behind it. I mean, one theme that Kiwi had pointed out that I think is very on the nose is pretty much every main character except for the female, what is her name? Riley Ritchie, I think her name was. So I know her last name was Ritchie. I'm forgetting what her first name was. I think it was Riley. When I say we just watched this, I mean we just watched it in the time that it's taken me to record again, which I haven't recorded in like at least a week. And I am already terrible at names, so that extra distance does not help me. A palm or a shop? Let's go for the shop. Hopefully we get a god that we want. I would really like crit chance. Okay, Ares, excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and get this palm on Curse of Pain first, and then let's see if we can get Dire Misfortune. It's the lowest tier. I could re-roll for that. I have enough re-rolls. Let's try and re-roll for it.
Set of choices then.
No such luck. Blood Frenzy isn't the worst idea, though, because that could up our Doom damage if I'm willing to take a death. I'll still take Dire Misfortune here. We'll have to look for Impending Doom. That's really the only other boon we really need. Impending Doom will increase our Doom damage substantially.
Good. Oh, we are going to enjoy this here, Red Blood.
And I guess, all things considered, Dire Misfortune between the tiers only gets like 2 extra damage per stack, so it's fine. All right, let's see how much this Doom does. 430 already, and that's without Curse of Longing. So I think we've got some nice doomy damage here. Oh, you know what? I should try and get her with a Boiling Blood. If I get a Boiling Blood on her, I might see a slightly higher hit. Let's toss it. Let's tag her with the attack. Toss in a special. Oh, darn it, the Boiling Blood missed. Oh well, she's popped. Curse of Longing is way better than I appreciated now that I understand how to use it, and as long it's really only relevant for Doom-based builds.
Where'd the others go?
Well, of course it is. It's the only thing that Curse of Longing affects, but still, that's a whole lot of damage up. All right. I am so used to running high heat runs that I was like, I have to sell one of these boons now. Okay, we're gonna force Artemis on the next floor, and then let's see. I don't need HP. More damage on the special is cute, but largely unnecessary since all our damage comes from the
giving up.
Doom. And nothing here I want to sell. So
Let's go up.
The common theme that we notice in Megamind, particularly this was something that Kiwi noted, was everyone has kind of like a dissatisfaction with where they currently are in life between Metro Man, Megamind, and Al. Like I those are kind of like the three major players of the show, aside from technically Bernard and I'm going to call her Riley. Forgive me if I have the name wrong. I'm just Kiwi. You know we are both horrendous at remembering names, even for like people we just met, like, and for fictional characters that we have no major emotional stake in, it just gets even worse. There's a reason why when I go to a new place to work, I make note cards, like I make flashcards of like, this is that person, and I cannot draw a person's likeness for my life, so it's basically just like, I have a mental picture or a description that helps me keep track of them. I generally recognize people better by facial features and glasses and hair. Or sorry, not facial features, but like facial hair, glasses, that sort of thing, I guess is what I mean by facial features. And I'm really bad at recognizing faces. Like, I don't know, I would like to say I have decent interpersonal skills, but my ability to make long-forming connections and respect them in a meaningful manner, no, that sounds odd. I don't know how to phrase this. Basically, I am bad at recognizing people, and remembering faces is really what it boils down to. And I've found tricks of the trade to make it easier for myself, but there are still lapses in my functionality on that front, unfortunately. Let's see, another palm or the shop. Let's go for the shop. Probably won't see Artemis here, but we might see another Ares. Aphrodite isn't amazing, but if we get Sweet Surrender, that'll be a little bit of a damage up. All right, Mystery Boon. We only have two gods right now, right? We have Aphrodite and we have Ares. So yeah, whatever third god pops up here is fine. All right, Zeus really wanted to be part of the party, and I guess that's fine. Heaven's Vengeance could go for Vengeful Mood later if I take this. It means we can pop more Doom damage on enemies, I guess. I don't know, man. Sure, let's just take Heaven's Vengeance, it's fine. And well, I don't know why I bought that HP, I really didn't need it, but I guess it'll keep me a little bit better alive when we get to Hades later on. Witch's Circle easily managed because we're gonna pop them extremely quickly with all the Doom damage. And the cool thing is, as long as I tag them once with the special, Curse of Longing is just gonna do the rest of the damage for me, honestly. I just do a wide spread here, and that should take out most of them. I think it missed the one that was almost dead. Yeah, it did. Unlucky. There we go. Yeah, Witch's Circle easy with Chiron Doom.
I was about to head out with Callisto for a hunt, though I can spare you a quick boon, I guess.
All right, what have you got, Artemis? All right, True Shot. So, True Shot isn't bad here because it'll lock in a core boon slot. I want to avoid getting Hunting Blades for this run because I really don't need it, and Aphrodite's cast is terrible. Hunter's Dash doesn't really do anything for the build we're going around, so let's go for True Shot, sure. That can set us up for Hunter's Mark, if anything else. Or if nothing else, rather. We'll definitely want to see if we can find pressure points, ideally. And since we didn't take a core boon from Zeus, we don't have to worry about him trying to force us to have duo boons just yet. We may look for them later, but there are still some more boons that I'd rather see first. I do appreciate that with Chiron, you can kind of shoot like directly away from your enemy and still hit them just as well. It's kind of funny. I also appreciate that when you're cutting out enemies like this, sometimes rather than charging up your attack, you can just toss out the special. And since you're running a Chiron, Ares build, one hit is all it really needs to do the damage you want. I would have, ooh, okay, this is a tough decision because that trial could offer us a really good pressure points. Hermes could offer us the special upgrade. And the third option, Eurydice, could upgrade the rarity of Dire Misfortune or of the special boon. And of course, Chaos is probably the least interesting here. They're all really tempting options. The trial will offer us the most guaranteed damage, most likely, assuming we have at least semi-decent RNG. And the chance of Eurydice hitting the cast seems unideal. I'm going to go for... Although if we take Eurydice and get Refreshing Nectar, we could get Rarity Upgrade, and that could guarantee us the Dire Misfortune or the Hermes Boon we're looking for. Man. I think I'm going to go for this. Because the damage increase from an enhanced special speed at a higher tier is way better than I think what...
We sing and sing and never once grow weary, Zagreus.
Than what we could get otherwise, I think. I might be wrong. All right, we're going to take Refreshing Nectar. The next 3 boons have upgraded rarity. And then hopefully we see anyone other than Zeus here, but ideally Ares. And we get... literally... Oh, wait, Hermes. Excellent.
I'll pay for that.
All right, so we're not offered the boon that I'm interested in. Hyper Sprint isn't terrible because it could set us up for rush delivery, but it'll be hard to use that reliably, get our special off, and then have the damage buff going for rush delivery to work on the special.
Let's see what else.
Unlucky, so we did not get the special speed, but I'll take Greater Haste here. Worst case scenario, we get rush delivery. Best case scenario, we get the special.
Time to go.
Both of those are not terrible situations to be in, and I'll skip the Aphrodite boon here, because I would like to have this increased rarity affecting Ares boon soon enough if possible.
Stopped anybody from attempting to leave Asphodel of late learning.
All right, I see a fish, gotta remember there's a fish there. All right, tag you with this, tag you with that. Let's see how much damage we do. That was a 491. Well, he's already maybe I should have gone for some calisthenics program so I could actually realistically see what my biggest damage numbers could be. Oh well. Curse of Longing is just so good with a Doomstacking build, it's pretty funny. All right, let's try this again. 1, 2, special, I got it, I hit a wall, darn it. All right, well, he's gonna phase again, oh well. We'll try one more time. We have at least one more phase to see the numbers. Whether we will or not. There's a lot remaining to be seen on that. Oh, hold on. So, what else can I say about Megamind in the meantime? Because we're not really getting the numbers we want. Actually, 1 second, because now we have a chance. So I'm going to toss my Boiling Blood into him first, I think. Then I'll tag him with this, and then... I didn't get it. 407, 505. Okay, not bad. Not amazing, not bad. Yeah, I'm definitely clipping the mic repeatedly. I see it. Like, I literally have my microphone's gain set to 0. It should not be able to pick up any audio, and yet it is clipping. I am frustrated.
Sure, why not?
I'll fix it in post-production so it's not terrible.
Mine. Got a crustacean.
I have a limiter on my audio so that it doesn't go above a certain peak. So it basically, the microphone clips at 0 decibels, and I have the limiter set to -5, so it should stop things from being too loud in the recording. But I don't know what I'm going to do about this, Kiwi. I'm so frustrated by it. I hope my filters are functioning properly. I didn't actually check those. So if you hear a whirring sound in the background, please know that my computer's fan is exorbitantly loud. We don't need the Artemis keepsake anymore, so I guess... Lambent Plume wouldn't be terrible, because if we do get rush delivery, that would be a huge damage up for us. Pierce Butterfly, I don't think I'm good enough at dodging. Coin Purse, we don't really need coin. I think I will go the route of Lambent Plume, at least for now. Pardon me. Alternatively, I could go for Palm Blossom to stack on the special, but I don't think it's worth it because it can hit so many other things. Let's go Lambent Plume. That's more fun. Go fast, right? Gotta go super fast. So, I guess, weird comments about Megamind. 1, he has the most adorable baby face. I don't know why, but the way they designed him, I guess it's the classic Disney high cheekbones, big eyes, the things that make you, like, equate them to a baby. Like, he just has such an incredible baby face. He's precious. Also, I love how awkward and, like, socially inept he is. Certainly because of his own circumstances, but they definitely played up the he is a alien trying to blend in with the human folk without, like, proper upbringing. You would think that being raised by a bunch of people in prison would still, like, teach him certain social etiquettes, maybe not the correct ones, but, like, pronunciation and things of that nature. Either way, there were definitely some, so spoilers ahead for Megamind. I'll try and keep it relatively spoiler free, but there are going to be some spoilers. If you care about me spoiling a movie that came out, what, like 15 years ago? How does that feel to know? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a 2010 movie, if I recall. We're going to take Concentrated Volley here. We got the 2 best in slot special boons right there. That's awesome. And we'll take the Palm. Oh, I didn't see the Erebus Gate. I would have tried for that if I had seen it. That was an Ares Gate. I'm willing to take every chance of getting an Ares boon right now because really all we need right now is Dire Misfortune. We get Dire Misfortune and we're going to have so much damage. Not a fan of walls when you're trying to run Chiron. That's why Styx is so incredibly hard with Chiron. Or at least it's not incredibly hard, it's just a lot rougher because all of your arrows just get caught by the narrow corridor walls. Because you spray pretty wide with your special on Chiron. Anyway, so I guess there was some degree of uncanny valley in the designs of the characters of Megamind, I would say. Like, I didn't quite like how they entirely looked, but they conveyed that they were humans well enough.
The power of the gods.
Curse of Pain, level 6, 191 base damage, awesome. And I'll take this Light of Ixion because if I may not go down the route, but if it gives me something worth taking, I'll go for it. We'll take the shop here because we can afford a boon. Hopefully we see Ares this time. And it is Zeus. I probably sit on my coin here. And as much as the mini-boss Zeus sounds like fun, the Hermes room is way better. We still have 2 refreshing nectars too, and I don't want to waste those on things that aren't Ares or Hermes at this moment. So yeah, let's go ahead and go for the Hermes Gate. A shame, because that would have been a pretty high tier rarity Zeus boon.
Death has come. Want to stand back and watch me work here, Zag?
Thanatos giving us a little bit of extra HP doesn't hurt though, that's for sure.
No doubt at all from me.
Alright, I do need to try and kill things faster than Than, which is easier said than done when my pathing on the arrows just aren't cooperating. Also, like, I suppose I need to check and see if killing the main bodies before the Revenants count as a kill for me or not. It does look like it counts, so I can kind of really cheese Thanatos in theory by like going for the bodies, letting the Revenants respawn and such. I don't think I can outspeed Thanatos with Doom though, not easily. Not without some wide shots. Anyway, so what did I think about the plot of Megamind? So I like some aspects of it. First off, probably I guess unfortunately I'm gonna go with my biggest criticism. What is it, Riley Ritchie? I thought she was really cool at the start of the movie. Like the classic, she was like Fiona from Shrek, right? DreamWorks quintessential female protagonist.
Last time we got you out of there, right, boss?
All right, come on, Hermes, give us the special. Ooh, okay, but in 100% rush delivery. I don't know, that gives us a flat 40% more damage compared to potentially stacking up another 8 Doom, or I guess it's 12 Doom on one enemy. What would give more damage? 12 times 10, 12, pardon me. Sorry, I've got some phlegm. 12 times 10, because 12 shots on the special plus 10 damage from Dire Misfortune versus 40% flat damage increase. 40% off of whatever we get. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna take it. It's such a juicy rush delivery. It's hard to turn down. Let's see. What do we got here, Than?
Had your hands full.
And we have got a Palm or an Ares. Okay, we ignore Chaos. This Ares is too good to pass up. We have Refreshing Nectar, and the boss room will give us increased rarity as well.
Thank you, Short One. Few in Elysium dare challenge me repeatedly.
All right, Asterius, let us do some number crunching. I think that was in the 700s. I couldn't actually see, but since Curse of Longing does half the damage every time. Hold on. Still got hit by him. Oh well. He phased. All right, we're gonna drop a Sisyphus because I've completely forgotten about Boldy this entire run. It's fine. He didn't have to get hit by the Boldy. I can't actually realistically see the numbers and not get hit because of forced overtime, unfortunately. 660, not bad.
I yield.
We really could use a pressure points to make us crit. That would really up our damage a little bit. All right, Curse of Vengeance, Blade Dash, Curse of... I re-roll here and hope for Dire Misfortune. Come on. I'll take Blood Frenzy. That's not terrible. It'll give us a 30% damage boost if I lose any Death Defiances, which will up our numbers, which I guess if our goal is to see the largest our largest Doom activations possible. It's not the worst decision. It looks like Doom has a weird interaction with these guys. I think the initial hit activates Doom, but I don't think they're actually taking damage like the Dire Misfortune additional hits, because they're getting blocked. So it applies Doom the one time they get hit, but it doesn't hit through their shield beyond that. Weird. Shielders seem to have some weird interactions with some certain boons. That's my general consensus on that. Because I could go for a point blank special and probably see all the numbers happen at once. Oh, you know what? So it looks like what's probably happening is actually the shield can block all of my special hits. It's just because of how Chiron arcs its shot. Some are hitting them from the side around the shield regardless. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, where was I? So okay. So I think that they did the same thing that they kind of did to Fiona, where basically Riley Ritchie starts off as this like powerful female character, starts the entire movie, or we're introduced to her as like a reporter character, and then she gets kidnapped by the villain because this seems to be like a running thing with them, and she's so fed up with him, so done with the situation, and so like less than passive, fairly aggressive at him about the inconvenience of being kidnapped again.
Champions of Elysium, now prove yourselves.
And the implicit expectation that regardless of being kidnapped, once again Metro Man, the Superman stand-in of the movie, will come and save the day yet again. Like, Megamind never wins. Megamind, the villain, never wins. He never gets the girl. He never beats the Superman character. This may have been a bad choice, but I think I'm netting positive on HP here.
It seems I need to look for better help.
Not by much if I am. Unfortunate. All right, Patroclus. I don't need Death Defiances. The healing would be nice. I don't depend on the attack. I think I'll take the coin to be able to better afford things in sticks. We're still really desperately in need of Dire Misfortune. Unfortunately, our misfortune has been that we haven't seen Dire Misfortune show up in the shop. Probably the biggest weakness I would say of Chiron overall is its inability to do AoE damage reliably. That said, because we have a pretty high base damage Doom at this point, I can probably just ignore its passive of making Doom home and just do some spread fire and spray and pray things to death. That seems actually to be working fairly well. When there's a higher HP enemy, I concentrate my fire, and when there isn't, and when there's just a lot of things in one room, I do like the spread fire. Okay, good to know. Of course, our single target damage is really where it's at. Anyway, so that's how Riley Ritchie starts off. She's like super powerful. She's very confident. She's like completely fed up with the frequent kidnappings and kidnappings. And I called her, instead of being a damsel in distress, she's a damsel in disappointment or damsel in frustration, or like she exists more than to be the trophy, if you will, the thing won by beating the supervillain, And unfortunately, by the end of the movie, that changes. She is kidnapped, and the main character has to save her, and then she just becomes kind of like she loses her personality by halfway through the movie because she falls in love. And I think that's probably one of the biggest criticisms I have of Dragon Ball Z, one of my all-time favorite childhood shows and series, is that the female characters in that show always start off really interesting, and then they get married and they become so much less interesting. Like Android 18, probably the only one who can kind of like be something, who does something more than the person she's married with. And I mean, I guess that's not fair. Bulma's always kick-ass too, but like, I don't know, like Chi-Chi just became wife character. She had so much personality in Dragon Ball, and then she gets married to Goku, and like that, she lost so much of what she does. And like the Tournament of Power, if you're up to date with Dragon Ball Super, like that brings Android 18 back a little bit, and she gets to fight a bit. But I don't know, it's Akira, forgive me for saying this against what Akira Toriyama is, but like I don't think Akira Toriyama writes women very well, unfortunately, and it's to their detriment, because he comes up with some pretty interesting, pretty fun characters, and then they fall in love and they lose their personality, or they lose what makes them special aside from being attracted to the character they were in love with. And not always, like Bulma still has moments, but I don't know, like you don't see nearly as much of her, and especially Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi just fell off a cliff. Android 18, I would say, has her moments, but kind of a similar story. She has so much less presence after her arc, and after she gets married to Krillin. At least that's how it feels. Yeah, that's how it feels. I mean, Videl, Gohan's partner. Same story. She was so fun in before she and Gohan became a couple, and then they got married, and now she's just Mrs. Gohan. All right, Zeus is showing up here again. I may as well take his boon. Static discharge. What do I? Oh, right. I have Heaven's Vengeance. I guess I'll just take lightning reflexes. I guess. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. I don't really need the darkness either. Let's save our coin for the sticks shop. I'm probably gonna lose a Death Defiance here. I am so prone to dying on heroes forced overtime.
Come, Hellspawn, and get destroyed by the two greatest fighters in Elysium.
Sorry, Theseus. I think you're gonna get destroyed by the two greatest fighters in Elysium, Zagreus and Boldy.
Where did that come from?
All right, Theseus is a little bit annoying to tag with Chiron as well because he's so mobile. Oh, hi. But as long as I get Curse of Longing going on him, I can actually pretty reliably just tag him once and then kite out Asterius. Also, just pointing out the fact that Boldy's spawns block Asterius from being able to do his charge, which is something that I'm practicing to gimmick, but I've decided to stick with Meg for the high tier runs, just because she basically one-shots a mini-boss, or like removes the armor of a mini-boss in one go. She's too good to not take, frankly. She's way too strong. I'm lucky that didn't hit me. I'm unlucky that didn't hit Asterius. I'm not sure why it didn't. All right, Asterius is popped now. Curse of Longing will finish him off. I wouldn't mind having empty inside just so that it extends the duration of our week and therefore extends the duration of our Doom activations with Curse of Longing. Theseus, slow down, come on. Yes, Theseus is really annoying to damage or to DPS when he's got forced overtime going for him.
Overrun, I can assure you, blackguard. Another priceless chariot.
Say
Lord Dionysus, give me strength.
And pop goes the hero. Ooh. But I feel like they did something similar to Fiona in Shrek, where she's this really powerful, cool female character, and then she gets kidnapped and she becomes Shrek's character to save. I don't know. As someone who does not write, I can't really judge someone for something that I am not capable of doing. But it feels like there is missed potential, missed opportunity. As a whole, I found that the main antagonist of the movie, Hal, was just not that interesting. I didn't really like him. Like, he's supposed to emphasize the nice guy trope of someone who is the nice guy, therefore deserves the girl, deserves the adoration, deserves everything because he was nice. He did everything right. At least in his eyes, but it's just like I hate that trope because it's just such a toxic frame of thought. Ooh. All right, so we've got a very stacked sticks shop there for Palms. We do potentially see the Dire Misfortune on the final room. I'm gonna go for that first. I have some rerolls. I have 2 rerolls, so that means I can get 1 reroll with Ares and 1 reroll with Hermes. There's a chance we can still get full build. Again, full build being Hermes special speed enhancing boon, plus Ares Dire Misfortune. Or not Dire, oh man, I keep saying Dire Misfortune. I want to say Impending Doom. Impending Doom, of course, being the boon that makes your Doom damage take longer to activate, which means we can get Dire Misfortune activated more reliably. You know what I should have done? I should have gone for the Zeus Chamber first. The reason for that is I could have locked in either his dash or his call, so that Ares is less likely going to give us those on his rotation of boons that are offered. So as you can see, this is what I meant by sticks being fairly rough for Chiron, because there are just so many walls. You do this big wide arc of shots, and most of them get caught in the walls. That's why when I run Chiron for what is it? Not forced overtime, tight deadline runs, or runs with a whole lot of stacks of tight deadline, he just underperforms. Or I guess it's, I don't know if I should gender the bow, but you know, the Chiron bow underperforms, I find, with tight deadline. That said, we are killing things fairly fast with this build. All right, Ares, come on. Impending Doom, epic tier, amazing. So our Doom effects now take an extra half second to activate, but deal 70% damage more. That basically means that we should be able to get 2 specials off no matter what. I'm actually questioning if whether the Hermes boon will actually give us the extra speed or not.
Lots on offer here.
I'm gonna go for it. Let's see.
I'll take this one.
20% faster special. I don't know if that'll let us get to squeeze in a 3rd special, but I'm gonna hope for it. Alternatively, hyper sprint plus greater haste plus rush delivery is an insane damage boost. I still think we go for Swift Flourish. It's more funny for the initial Doom hit. And here I go for the... I need coin, I need palm. I'm definitely going to be doing some extra chambers here. Pardon me. I don't know why I've suddenly become so phlegmy for this recording, because I was fine before. I guess maybe the vibrations of my throat, of my voice, have just activated my... activated something. I'm not sure what. Oh well. I'm hopeful that we see a 3 chamber Styx at least. I will have to do extra chambers because I want to get that Artemis boon for pressure points. And I want those palms to... I think you can palm Dire Misfortune. I may be mistaken, but I think you can palm Dire Jeez, I keep calling Dire Misfortune Impending Doom. No, I think you can palm Impending Doom. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it sure would be cool if you could. Not having a dash boon here is making me realize how susceptible we are to rats. Dash boons make these rooms a lot easier because you can kill things as you're dashing around, unless it's Artemis's dash. But these guys only have 1 HP, so they die very quickly. Let's see, anything in this Well of Chiron? Blood of Midas? Excellent. Okay, so this is what I wanted. Price of Midas. I give up a whole lot of HP. Ooh, but Ignite. I'm gonna... Okay, this is a nice one. So we're gonna do Price of Midas for 63 more coin. Although that did, like, take a 1/3 of my HP, and we're going to take Ignited Ichor. 20% move speed means a whole lot of extra damage through rush delivery. That's a whole 20% more damage just from that. 2 chamber Styx, okay. Not the worst. Would have liked to see a little bit longer on Styx, I think. But we've already addressed the fact that I'm going to do some extra chambers anyway. Let's go for the Artemis boon first, see if we can get pressure points.
Good boy. Cheers, mate.
Hunter's Marker, 2% pressure points. I think I go for it. I take the 2% crit chance. Are we going to see that on our Doom proc? Almost certainly not. But it would be funny if we did. I'm gonna go for this room next. The reason for that is the palm won't be the... I guess I should have gone for this room before I went for Artemis. That way, I don't think I really want to palm pressure points. It's an option. It's not the best option by a considerable margin. What else can I say in the meantime about Megamind? Let's see. I like the outcome of what happened with Metro Man. I think it's a fun little subversion of expectations, although I did predict his plot twist basically immediately. I didn't expect how it would turn out, and I'm kind of happy with how that is. And it's a nice thought of, like, it's an interesting thought of having responsibility thrust upon you versus choosing your own path. And I have certainly been on both sides of that life experience, and it is very freeing to be able to choose for yourself what you want to do, but there's always some amount of regret associated with it, I think. Or maybe there's not. I guess it depends on who you are and what it is that you are leaving behind, but I can certainly understand if there is regret. For me, there certainly is. But being able to follow your passions and live out the life you wanted to live rather than the life people chose for you is such a liberating, freeing thought. And it's unfortunate that so many people don't really get to do that. I wouldn't even say that I can. I would say I'm certainly in a better position than most for being able to try to do that. Pop goes the Bloodstone. All right, we're at 834 damage already. Impending Doom, there we go. So 90% more damage on that Doom activation. That's exactly what we like to see. I think Impending Doom is going to give us more benefit to getting over stacking our special right now.
I'll pay for that.
I think this is worth re-rolling for, so let's see if we can get another Impending Doom.
Some other boons instead.
We did not, but I can put it on the special for that higher base damage, so I will. 204. I'm going to do 1 extra chamber. Let's see, mini boss or HP? I'm going to go mini boss. You know, Zeus isn't going to offer us anything incredible, and you know what, maybe I should have gone for HP because kind of the same idea as the Artemis boon. Now I have 1 more boon to potentially have to share with bomb levels. Ah, well. Inevitably, I'm going to do a 5-chamber 6 because I can. I'm having fun with this run, and I want to keep it going. And it gives me a little bit longer to ramble about Megamind. This Pool of Purging actually will be very helpful if it offers us any of the boons that I don't want. It did not. I don't really have anything else I need to use this reroll for, so let me see if I can reroll and sell some things that I actually don't want. True Shot, Greater Haste, Heaven's Vengeance. Okay, I can sell those two. Yeah, that... Is there any reason I really want Heaven's Vengeance? No, not really. All right, so yeah, let's sell these two, and what I can try and do is I can try and take a tier 2 Zeus boon that does not offer palm level. Oh, that can't be palmed. Actually, you know what? I remember because I looked this up. Zeus, literally every boon that Zeus can give can be palmed. So there's that's why with builds like Dionysus only builds, or like Dionysus focus builds, you avoid Zeus because he actually kind of counterposes your build. Because every one of his booms is palmable, you end up inevitably losing out palm rolls to Zeus at some point in the run. Assuming you're not building around Zeus, in which case you want to palm his things, Double Strike, Jolted, that sort of thing. Like, you want to palm those, but... Alright, let's see how fast we melt this rat. 1, 2, 3... 1400 doom damage. Nice, okay. Well, at least we have our litmus test of our potential damage. Now imagine if that crit. We'd be critting for probably in the realm of, if not 4,500, at least 3,000, I think. We'll probably never get to see the number, but the fact that we can easily stack up a 1,500 doom, I'm not gonna complain about that. Oh, there you are. I'm like, why hasn't this ended? And pop goes the weasel. All right, Zeus, what have you got?
We're here for you, young man.
What have you got? Lightning Strike, Thunder Dash, Zeus's Aid. I guess out of all of these, Thunder Dash is kind of fun. It literally doesn't matter. I'm not going to use the Aid on this build, so yeah, we'll go ahead and take the Dash. That's fine. We have nothing really to build out of it. All right, we've got 2 palms. Guaranteed Thunder Dash is going to show up for both of them. Yep, there's 1. Onto the special it goes, and then there's 2. Curse of Pain, unfortunately, yeah, look at that. Thunder Dash showed up for both. Unlucky. We're going to go ahead and put it on the special one more time. That crit chance would be fun. I don't think I'm going to 5-chamber this. Let's go ahead and melt Hades' HP.
The prince compels the multi-headed hound to let him pass.
All right, Hades, bring it on. At the end of the day, I think Megamind is definitely worth watching. It didn't really stand out to me so much, but it definitely got me to laugh a lot, and I think for that, it's definitely worth checking out. It's just not, it didn't, I've seen a lot of the tropes it plays on before.
Remember, I can always get here much, much faster than you.
Just wait till I get that sub 10 speed run, and then we'll see if you can say that, Hades. I'd like to imagine that he has some sort of elevator. Like, rather than teleporting like we know he probably is, just doing a, like... I just like to imagine that he has, like, the Lord of the Underworld elevator. So I think what I'm going to do is, once we get to phase 2, I'm going to let him get me low so I can get Blood Frenzy activated, and we'll see if we can crit him. Probably won't crit him, but we can at least get that 30% damage up on our Doom damage, which will be pretty crazy, because we're melting him right now with Curse of Longing and all of our Doom damage. Like, look at that. That Doom popped that enemy in one hit. Well, you know, like, 1 hit times 24. Stop teleporting away, you coward. I've got you. Alright, there's 1 Blood Frenzy. I'm not afraid of using one up right now. Because look at that, we pop him with Doom.
Let's finish this then.
Alright, we're going to charge up our attack so it's aimed at him. Hit him with a special, or a cast. The walls are blocking our damage. Alright. I just want to get him... I want to get him to his next phase before I risk the Death Defiances. But now I'll let him kill me once, and that'll be a 60% damage boost. Alright, I can probably beat Hades without my last Death Defiance. It's just a little nerve-wracking, but we'll let it happen. Do it to me, Hades. Do it to me. Right, I don't want these. We'll get rid of those Bloodstones, just so I don't have to deal with them. Alright, here we go, Kiwi. Let's see our number. Tag him with the cast. Tag him with the attack. Stop spamming your lasers. I can't see fun numbers if you do that. Alright, this is our chance. He didn't have enough HP to survive the hit. Unfortunate. Oh well.
Boy, you speak none of this to anyone.
Look, if we do damage calculations, we know I had a 60%, I had a 90% damage modifier in this room. Base damage of at least 200, increased by 70%. I can't do math here, but I think we would have easily seen a 2K if he had enough HP to survive the hit. Didn't even get the crit. Seems lame. I'll have to do this again with Calisthenics program on. Then we can really see the big meaty numbers. But
father's name.
A pretty easy, forgiving, and powerful run. Turns out Force Overtime is very manageable when you don't have all the other pact of punishments going. Or Extreme Measures 4. Extreme Measures 4 is terrifying. Alright, let's see. What are we going to honor today? I forgot to use Boldy too. That's kind of lame. Alright, well, we had a pretty solid stacked run. Let's see. We definitely have to honor the special, Relentless Volley, Rush Delivery 100%, Impending Doom, and I feel like I should do Dire Misfortune here, because that's kind of how the build was. This is not a very aesthetically pleasing end slate. Forgive me, Kiwi, I just need to make it look slightly nicer. So let's put Impending Doom here. Then we can do Relentless Volley, put this in the middle, then we have Dire Misfortune, and then we have, what was the last purple? Greater Haste. I had another purple, didn't I? Rush Delivery, there it is. That looks a little bit more even, right? I like that better. Okay, 111 win streak, make a wish, Kiwi. A very strong run, all things considered.
Never enough.
Like, I will say to the day I die that Chiron, I think, falls off a little bit late game.
Having gained the surface once again, Prince Zagreus breathes deeply of the wildflowers and the roses and the like, among which one of them contains an allergen so intolerably potent that it causes this.
So Chiron falls off a little bit late game, and by late game I mean higher heat, especially when you're contending with tight deadline. But if there is a weapon that is going to carry you through 32 heat, it is Chiron. Chiron is so good for the casual player.
Really?
I highly recommend learning it if you're new to the game and you need like a good weapon to carry you through higher challenges, because it's so incredibly safe. Just to keep your distance, fire your attack, fire your special, and melt enemies. Build around your special.
Hey, you look like you could use some sleep.
But the thing is, like, Chiron's attack isn't enhanced by any of its passives, but the bow's attack just at base is still incredibly powerful.
Remember your training, lad.
So like, even if you don't get a special focused hammer, the attack hammers on Chiron is still incredible.
Hey, Fan, something's been troubling me still with what you said about how mortals look at death. If most of them believe their life is all they have, how do they live? I mean, I can't even imagine what that's like. I'd be a lot more careful at the very least.
They live with all their hearts, or at least try. I think there's something to it, truthfully. Though some of them, they fall apart. They get here without me, on their own, gripped with despair. If only they knew what your father always says about all this.
What, you mean that there is no escape? From what? The mortals are up there, not here. Not while they're technically alive in their sense, anyway.
I mean, you can't escape your problems, Zagreus. You can run from your family, but you can't run from everything. You have no choice but to confront it and work through it, sooner or later, one way or another. You and all of us.
Isn't that the truth? But for now, running is fine, and the terrifying anxiety that hides behind that run, or hides within that running, will eat at me from the inside out.
I'm starting to notice that, yes. Though, to a mortal who has yet to die, don't they think of death as some sort of release? You come to end their misery, something like that?
This is surprisingly existential.
I can release them from their decaying bodies. Sometimes the fates demand I bring them in sooner. That's about as much as I can do. Some of them get it early on, how to live. It's quite impressive, really, but they learn so quick.
It really is.
I don't actually know. Does Greek mythology have any account for like reincarnation? Like, sure, the souls are accumulating in the underworld, but do they ever get reincarnated back into life? I don't actually know about that.
Cerberus is too busy living in the lap of luxury to pay much heed.
Because it would be an interesting concept to address in Greek mythology if there is one. It's certainly addressed in other mythologies, that's for sure.
You're looking just as well as ever, Zagreus.
As are you, Dread Queen of the Underworld. Or Dread Queen of Death? I forget. What did Ares call you, that edgelord he be?
Your mother expected this most recent result of yours.
As did we all, Hades. It's no surprise that we have another win under our belt.
Cerberus featured house servant.
It was only 23 heat after all. Nothing challenging about that. Not at all.
Please.
It's kind of crazy how casual high heat has become for me.
I've been very pleased with my performance lately, as you might have guessed.
Or I guess I should say above average heat, because again, 16 heat was the highest heat that the devs realistically thought their player base could contend with. And I definitely agree. It's very much a learn your enemies, learn how to dodge, learn your timings, and find the weapon that works best for you. For me, that is not the sword. For me, that is the bow and the rail and the shield, and I'd argue even the twin fist or the spear. It's really just not the sword. But for me, if I were to rank my weapons in terms of what will carry me most commonly, I would say Hestia is kind of in a tier of her own. Otherwise, bow, rail, shield. Then I'd probably say spear because it's a little bit safer. You have iframes on the Achilles spear is just broken. Its special gives you iframes and you just have so much base damage on it. So spear, gauntlets because you have to be kind of very close ranged enemies, I'd say would be next. And then the sword is just, ugh, the sword. Anyway, Kiwi.
You want another piece of this or what?
Overall, I'm glad we shared that movie together. I'm glad you asked about it because you're not usually the one who's like, hey, I have a movie I want to watch. So it was fun to have you get to pick the movie for a change. And I'm looking forward to whatever we watch next, no matter what it may be. With all that said, though, I hope you've enjoyed watching. And if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I will see you in the next one.